Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly pick a card reading. Thank you for joining me. I hope these messages resonate and help you in the week ahead. Please note that there is no time limit on these messages, so if you stumble across these at any time, have a look because I'm sure there'll be a message in there for you. Timestamps will be below as usual. Okay everyone, we have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3 and pile number 4. I've got some crystals which I was for some reason just drawn to green today, so there we go. Not sure if you can see those properly. Lovely. Take a moment, pick a pile that jumps out at you for whatever reason, and then that'll be the message for you. If you're drawn to more than one pile, feel free to select as many piles as you need. Timestamps for each pile will be below. See you shortly. Welcome pile number 1. Let's have a look at what energies are around you this week. We'll start with the oracle cards. We've got the ego here, a little bit of devil energy for you. Okay, let's see. Actually, I'm just going to take a minute just to feel the energies. It's an interesting combination that you've got here, pile number 1. Don't be alarmed with the tarot that's here. I think it's going to explain a lot. Let's get started. So we start off with ascension. Your soul is evolving to higher states of consciousness. You are ready for this. And I really like this card, especially with the tarot that's come up, because when we ascend, when we become conscious, when we start to tap into our soul, and when we evolve, when we get to know our higher self, there are generally endings in our life. And we generally see things much more clearly. And it's often that we drop the ego. So we'll look into it a little bit deeper as we go, pile number 1. But I feel that this is happening to you now, which is the strongest feeling I get. You're going through this now. Some of you might be further along than others. But I do sense for some of you, you've gone through this. And you're kind of, I want to say, in the aftermath of it. So, to be less dramatic, sometimes these changes, sometimes these insights and these understandings that we get about ourselves can really cause a whirlwind in our life and can bring about so much change. And sometimes we find ourselves in between. We're not quite in the past anymore, but we're not quite on our new path, and we're in this in-between stage. And some of you may find yourself there. And for those that do, I'll read the messages for the different groups. So whether you've just finished soul growth, like you know, coming into a new alignment with your higher self, or if you are in the process of doing that, then this message is really going to resonate with you. We have the lizard spirit, dream the world into being. And I love this card with the ascension, because when we tap into our higher self, when we start to realize who we are and then what we are in conjunction to that, we start to see what we need to change in our life in order to align that, so that our outer world is then aligned with our inner world. And lizard spirit is here to say, you get to decide. You know, you get to dream that into being. And like I often say, is everything in this 3D tangible world of ours started with a dream. It started with a dream, like, wouldn't it be great to fly? And then it was an idea, well, we can't physically fly, but what if we built something that we could sit in and fly? And you know, now we take planes for granted. But somewhere in history, that started as somebody's dream to fly. And back then, you know, we often think of our dreams as being exactly that, a dream, never to be manifested. Because, oh, it's silly, it's just a dream. But back in the day when somebody was dreaming of flying, I think that would have been pretty out there. You know, people would have looked at that person and gone, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then when we dream it into being and it becomes a reality, then suddenly we know, hey, it's not impossible. Nothing's impossible. And I'm wondering if this inner work that you've done, if you're starting to see that things are possible. Maybe you've changed your mind in how you thought about things or what you believed in. And that in itself for you is huge. You can see how, wow, all things are possible. Because we have the elephant spirit here saying, learn from the past. So there is something in your past that is of value. And I believe that everything is of value. Because I truly think that everything that we went through, everything that we've been through, everything that we're going through, actually brings us to this person that we are now. And I don't believe that we can be who we are now without having gone through everything that we did. So there's something in your past that the elephant spirit is asking you to look at, to remember, because it could need additional healing. Maybe you haven't quite dealt with the emotions that are attached to that. Maybe there's an idea in your past that you tried, but it didn't work out because you weren't where you needed to be at that point in time. So maybe it's asking you to go back and look at an idea that you had in the past and bring that into being. Redream it maybe in a different way. Because when we awaken, when we align ourselves, when we start to evolve to higher states of consciousness, we don't see things the way we used to. So we don't do things the way we used to. So sometimes those dreams that failed us in the past, some definitely need to be let go, but some need to be revisited, but then done in a different way. We have supermoon. Emotions are running high. Now I can see this as, oh my gosh, like the realization that you're going to get a second chance, possibly at a dream. Your emotions might be going from excitement and exhilaration and full of possibility 1 minute to complete fear and, can I do this? Can I, oh gosh, I tried that before and it didn't work. So you'll be full of fear. So I feel that maybe this week, and when I say this week, sometimes it can be a longer process than that, but you might already start to have those emotions around what this is. It might just be starting to formulate in your mind, and you're gonna be on a bit of an emotional roller coaster. And with your tarot cards, I can kind of see why. Because in order to be in this place, to do things differently, to embrace your higher consciousness, things are going to have to come to an end. And this is your lifestyle, how you think, how you do things, relationships, partnerships, jobs. It can be anything, and it will be different for all of you. For some of you, this is really just internal work. For others, this is going to start manifesting itself in the world, or you're going to start to think of ways to bring something into the world. And again, it depends what stage you're at. You know, some of you might be getting ready to bring it into the world. Some of you are still dreaming it up. But there's going to be some endings. And the endings are necessary in order for the new to come in. So this is the new day dawning. The old day's finished and the new day's dawning. Now, if we didn't have the night in between, well, the day would never end and it would never start. And that's not how life works. Something has to end in order for something else to start. And it doesn't mean it's going to be in everything. You know, because you start a new job, it doesn't mean your relationship's going to end. Because you have a new way of thinking, it doesn't mean your job has to end. So it doesn't have to be, you know, the Ten of Swords looks like such a dramatic card. And sometimes absolutely it can be. And if that's you at the moment, then just trust. Just go within and just know you're getting rid of things that don't serve you. And yes, you might be feeling emotional, but just let it come out, because you're going to learn from past experiences. You're going to learn from letting the past go by, or you're going to learn from past hurts. You'll let them resurface, but that's to end them once and for all. It's to, I'm feeling very strongly, I want to say it's to pass judgment on them and then let them go. And I'm going to explain that because I don't want you to misinterpret what I mean by pass judgment on them. When I say pass judgment, I don't mean in an ego place or from the ego. I don't mean that you pick it apart and that you blame and that you judge it as good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. What I mean by pass judgment on it is, does this serve me? And that's the only judgment you need to pass. So you look at past situations. Your emotions will guide you. Emotions are feelings that we let run away from us. So with your emotions, know that that comes from a place of pain. Emotions come from beliefs and mindsets, comes from the ego. Your feelings come from something deeper. So your emotions will be running high. So you're kind of be up and down, up and down. But I want you to dig a little deeper. I want you to look at these past experiences that want to surface. And I want you to see the feeling around them. And then I want you to decide, does this serve me? And it'll either be a yes or a no. I grant you initially it'll be a I don't know. Because there will be emotions and there will be fear tangled into it. And that, especially with the ego, the devil card here, it's very difficult sometimes to see the difference. But that's all you need to ask yourself this week. Poll number 1 is just, does this serve me? And like we were saying, the ego in this deck is the devil card in the normal Rider-Waite, and the card says the illusion of being trapped. Accept responsibility for your situation and then make choices that support your path to happiness, addictions or unhealthy habits. And this is what you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking at the way your mind tricks you into keeping you stuck, because the ego loves a comfort zone. The ego doesn't deal well with change. It doesn't like upheaval. It likes to be safe. It likes to be steady. And it doesn't like things to rock the boat. But judgment is here saying there are things in your life that need to end. So there are thoughts, like it says here, there are addictions or habits, and they don't even need to be like food and alcohol or drugs or anything else like that. They can just be an unhealthy habit of replaying conversations in your head 50 times. Walking away from a conversation and berating yourself because you didn't say this or that. You know, it can really just be things of the mind. And I think the importance with this card, especially as they've noted it and for this reading, is when we accept our responsibility for where we are now. Yes, we can see the responsibility that others might have played in the situation, but here we're stepping into our own power, and when we step into our own power, we are responsible for we. Yes, other things come and they step into our life and they cause us to react, or they put us in situations or that we might not have on our own. Absolutely, absolutely. But can you accept that on some level a mindset, a way of thinking has brought you in a roundabout way to where you are right now. And only you can heal it. So if others have contributed to damaging you, only you can heal that. Nobody can do that for you. I feel pole number 1, there's a huge message here of healing the past, because you've got dreams that need to be fulfilled. You know, the universe is telling you you've got something to bring into the world. The world wants and needs it. So go within, find your higher consciousness that has a better understanding, that it can then deal with the ego. Don't squash your ego, don't hate your ego. It's there to keep you safe. Don't fight it either, because it'll only get stronger. To say, look, thank you for caring, but I've got this. I see more than you do, because your higher self sees more than you do, and it certainly sees more than your ego does. Accept the emotions that are going to be coming your way. Just accept them. And just know that you're going through the process of asking yourself, does this serve me? No? It's time to let it go. Yes? Move forward, because it'll be part of your dream. Pole number 1, a lot of internal work this week for you. Take care. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for being with me today. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Welcome to your weekly reading, or for whenever you stumble across this reading. I hope these energies will resonate and will help you in the week ahead. Let's have a look what's in store for you this week. Let's start by the Oracle. Okay, pole number 2, just get the energy for this week. It's a very interesting energy, pole 2. It seems very, I want to almost say opposite, very this or that. So let's see what the cards bring. Inner alchemy. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. It's an interesting way of putting it, isn't it? Because alchemy to me is very much the manifesting, very much the magician, but also a little bit the high priestess too, because sometimes I see her. She probably does the work internally, whereas the magician probably brings it out into the world. But I'm really seeing this inner alchemy card really with the high priestess, and I'm not sure why. As we go into the reading, that'll obviously, well, hopefully become apparent. But it's true that things change. It's true that we change when we're in an energy of fear. It's really hard to love, because the two kind of can't coexist. You can go out of one and into the other, and out of one and into the other, absolutely, but simultaneously they can't exist, because they cancel each other out. And I'm seeing that with your cards. And I feel that you are being tested. And I feel, and I know you might not like me saying this, pole number 2, but I almost feel that you are testing yourself. And I'm wondering, with this inner alchemy, with the high priestess, your commitment's being tested, I'm wondering if you have changed your way of thinking about how the world functions. And now you're testing it to see if your new theory is true. And I know that might sound a little bit bizarre, but I really think that you're doing that. You have wasp spirit, sometimes life stings, and you have lion spirit, be generous of spirit. And same with the emperor and the high priestess. I kind of get the same energy from that as well. I feel like you're putting yourself in situations that are not pleasant, that might be difficult, that might sting. So you can see how you function in them. Now I'm going to try to explain that to you more in depth of what I mean. So before we embrace this energy of love, and that's generally before we awaken, before we become more conscious of our inner self, of what guides us, of our greater beliefs in what is. When we get challenges, it's very easy to blame that on somebody else. So, if we lose our job, we can blame it on somebody generally. We can say, oh, well, they never saw my worth, or they never, if we argue with somebody, it's because they're stubborn, or they just won't be told, or they just don't understand. When we embrace love, and when we come into the understanding of exactly what we are and how powerful we are and how we are beings of light and love, you embrace this lion spirit more, and it helps you hold your tongue. So you won't enter in an argument just to prove you're right, or just to make the other wrong. You won't judge situations and blame others, even though the situations, like I'll go back to the one about losing your job. Okay, losing your job is probably not going to be something that's going to thrill you more often than not. But you'll be in this understanding that somehow deep inside of me, I must believe this is no longer for me, for it to have fallen away. Or you understand that there's a lesson in that. Or you understand that that's a way that your higher self or the universe is asking you to move forward. It doesn't make it less painful. It doesn't make it less traumatic. It helps because there's another level of understanding. There's a level of trust. There's a level of faith in yourself and in something bigger than you. And so I feel this week, pole number 2, that you're going to allow yourself to be, I want to say, dragged into situations that are probably not of your doing, so you can see how you react to them. Do you get feisty? Do you roar back? Or do you just let that person say their piece and go, well, you know, I don't agree, but you don't have to fight your point. You just can say, I don't agree, and leave it at that. And this will apply to everybody very, very differently. But I feel that with this card, the first quarter moon, your commitment is being tested. This is you testing you. And I feel that so strongly. I feel that you've got a theory and you're testing it out. So if you find this week, and I see that with the 9 of Wands, if you find yourself this week that you seem to be on the receiving end of people's anger, people's frustration, people's impatience, people's judgments, anything else that other people can throw at you, if you find that suddenly you just find yourself, it's one after the other, know that you're testing yourself. You're testing yourself to see how you come out in that. Have you done enough of your inner work that when you find yourself in a real life situation, you don't react from a place of unconsciousness? You react from a place of love and consciousness. This reading is fascinating to me, pole number 2. Absolutely fascinating. I love how it literally is exactly what I've just said. I could not even go to the tarot because the tarot is exactly explaining what I've just said. The message is so clear. Because here we have the Emperor and the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is all about the inner work. It's all about the unseen, what you do behind the scenes, how you are. This is your real, authentic you. No masks, no pretending, no projection, or no fakeness. And the Emperor is power, understanding, strategy, knowing, being sure-footed. An Emperor doesn't blame anybody. An Emperor knows that he's it. And I feel with both of these cards together, they're saying that you, because of your inner work, because of the depth inside of you and what you have discovered, you are embracing your true power. This lion does not need to prove himself. He doesn't have to go out and fight everybody to prove that, hey, I'm a lion. He knows who he is, and he doesn't have to prove it to anybody. And that's very much the energy of the Emperor. He doesn't have to prove himself. He's already done that. He already knows. He proved himself to himself. So he knows his self-worth. He doesn't need to find that in others. And when you put yourself in this space, you don't need to fight others, because you don't need to prove yourself. You don't need that other person to know that you're right. You don't need that other person to know that you're powerful. You don't need them to know. You know. And the Nine of Wands is here to say, you're really going to put up your shield, your boundaries, but not in a way that you've built a complete wall like some wands are actually going through. That's okay. They're not going to get her. They can go past. The ones that are going to hurt her, she's protected. So you're not going to fight. You're going to let the other person speak. And you're going to say, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that, but let's just let it be. And you'll walk away. And I feel that it's going to have an impact on people. People are going to go, wow, gee. And not that you even need that this week. But it's interesting energy. So the card says, protect what you have created. Be prepared. Never give up. Ask your angels for help. Environmental activist and animal rights. And yes, absolutely for what the card says, but for this reading, I just feel that you're not going to let people walk all over you, but you're not going to defend yourself either. You're just not going to go into battle. You just don't see the worth of it. And you're going to, and there might be times, because you are testing yourself, there might be ones that get through. Somebody might trigger you to the point that you do fight back. And you'll be, oh, okay. I reacted instead of just acting. I lost consciousness. I went back into my unconscious ways of reacting and acting. And you are going to get so much insight, because you're going to see the difference. Just changing the way you react to things, the impact that it will have on your life. This is a huge realization, pole number 2. And I love that you are putting yourself in this situation. You're testing yourself of how much you have grown. And I'm sure that your findings will send you off into more inner work. It's so beautiful, pole number 2. It is just inspiring to take what we learn about ourselves and then to put it back out into the world to see if we can make it happen. You know, it makes me think of, monks. They're in their monasteries, they meditate, and they're a little bit away from the world, so they're not triggered like we are in our everyday life. And that is so important, because I believe that they're here to raise the vibration of the world to keep it at a certain level and to radiate light. So thank goodness that we have them. But it is a little bit easier for them to stay in that high vibration, to shine their light, because they are less triggered. But for us that live in our everyday lives, that are working, and we're subjected to different people and points of views, and happy people and angry people and everything else in between, when we can take what we're learning, take our spiritual learning, and we can start to apply it in our everyday life, that's magic. That's alchemy. Oh, beautiful reading, pole number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a lovely week. Take care. Love and light. Bye-bye. Welcome, pole number 3, to your weekly pick a card reading. Or if you've just stumbled across this video, welcome. There'll be a message in this reading for you, or that I hope will help you. Let's have a look what energies are around you this week. Okay. Okay, just bear with me, pole number 3. I'm just going to pick up the energies around the reading for this week. Just want to say, I don't know why this word balance just really jumped out at me as I was looking through the cards, but it feels balanced. I feel just an even energy, like a peaceful week ahead. And I'm not saying that nothing's going to happen, but it just feels nice. So we have choice. By staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. Now, isn't that interesting, this message? And it's so true, isn't it? When we are aware of our thoughts and our unconscious thoughts as much as our conscious thoughts, or when we bring, probably a better way of saying it is when we bring our unconscious thoughts and make them conscious, we do get to direct our journey. We do get to pick and choose a bit more. And I don't think it's that we get more choices. I just feel it's that we see more options. And because we are conscious, we actually realize that we're making choices. Because a lot of the times when we're operating from an unconscious kind of place, we make decisions all the time, but we feel like we had no choice in the matter. And, you know, we often hear that, don't we? People say, oh, I just didn't have a choice. But if you're making a decision, if you're taking a decision, you've got a choice, haven't you? You might not like your choices. And I think when we are conscious, we get to see that, okay, none of these choices presented in front of me I particularly like. And if we are unconscious, we'll pick the one that will cause the least pain, or the least amount of change, or the least amount of fear. When we are conscious, we'll pick the one, regardless of everything else, that is for our higher good or in alignment with really our authentic self. And it's not that we're going to like the choices more being conscious than when we were unconscious. It's just we're going to understand them better. You know, sometimes we have to make choices to dismantle what was built incorrectly or in the wrong place or with the wrong people. I think pole number 3, you're going to be seeing that this week. I don't know if you've had choices, and this is going to be, actually, I'm going to have a look at horse spirit here because it says watch and wait. So I wonder if you've made this choice, or if this choice is coming to you, or if it's something you've been putting off. The watch and wait card is here to say, watch your thoughts and wait till you can clear them. If you are in a place of more consciousness and you have made your decision and you've taken that step, the seahorse spirit is here to say, watch and wait to see what this is going to bring you. So sometimes when the seahorse spirit comes out, it's almost zoom out to get a bigger picture of the situation. Can you see it from a higher perspective? Can you see it from a different perspective? And I think this week, pole number 3, it's your thoughts that are going to matter. And I love the koala spirit here with spirit has a plan. And that's what this, when we do things from a conscious place, we know there's a bigger picture, there's a bigger picture plan, there's a bigger plan. And we can't see all of that. I mean, you've got the watch and wait, and then spirit has a plan. And I love how the numbers are opposite, but they both come to 8. And 8 is a power number. 8 is, in numerology, it's a number of manifesting. It's the number of stepping into your power, understanding your power. And both cards here are 8. And I love how they're the butterfly, you know, the 2 3s and 2 5s. And it's going to bring change, and it's going to bring joy. It's going to bring creativity. And I think it's because these choices that you have, maybe a change in direction, it's so that you can bring what you are learning about you, your creative projects, what drives you, what fuels you, where your higher self is guiding you to, where spirit is guiding you. It's all to balance out your inner and outer world. It's to bring things into the real world, so it's to turn dreams into reality. It's to know how to bring your spiritual self, the way you have evolved, and how you now fit in your world, and what you need to change in your world in order to fit. Or Actually, no, that's very incorrect. You don't change you have changed because you've been doing the inner work. So it's often in those circumstances that we need to go out, and we don't change the world around us because we don't try to change the people in our life if they no longer resonate with us, or change our environment, impose people that are in our current job to embrace what we now believe in. Sometimes it means letting those go and finding new people, new situations, new jobs, new environments that match who we have become or who we are becoming. So that's very important. And this is not easy. To balance the spirituality and the practicality is not easy. And I love that this is full moon in Pisces. So Pisces is all the unseen. And full moons is emotions. So this is not an easy place to be in, because the two, I'm not going to say that they're opposite, but to bring the two together is difficult. And it takes courage, and it takes patience. And it takes really the conviction and the power to not change yourself to suit the environment, and to not force the environment to change to suit you. You literally have to take yourself out of it and then go and find an environment that is aligned with you. We have the Four of Wands and the Three of Wands. And this is, well, the Three of Wands is definitely this kind of energy. You're looking out and you have changed. You are different, and you're waiting for different things to come in for you. And this, for me, the Three of Wands is waiting for your ships to come in to receive. So waiting for people to come to you to help you, or waiting for, your new soul tribe, waiting for material resources, waiting for opportunities. But it's also waiting for the ship that you're going to get on in order to go out. So that can be getting on a ship to go out and find your soul tribe. Finding a new job, finding a new place to live, finding new relationships, new inspiration, new possibilities. And the Four of Wands is stepping through the portal to go do that. You were here as your old self. Now your new self needs to go through to a new life. And please don't think that you have to change your whole life. That's not at all what I'm saying. But things will change around you, even if this is just you for the moment. You might need to go through the threshold of changing your thoughts. They've probably already started changing and you're a bit unsure. But the Four of Wands is a card of celebration. It's it's like the double two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is, the person standing with the world in his hand, looking out and dreaming of all his possibilities, planning what is possible. What does he now want in his life? Where are her dreams going to take her? What possibilities are out there? And the Four of Wands is that energy, but you moving forward, you're past the planning. You're ready to take action. You're ready to move forward, or you're ready to receive. And again, there's that balance. I love the Four of Wands here with the balanced spirit and practicality, because you can almost see there's your practicality, there's your spirituality. Bring them together in harmony and celebrate. And there's so much healing here with the Star. The card says, have faith, the future is bright. Dreams come true. Positive changes that bring an end to challenging times. The light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, definitely. And it's this because you're balancing the two. You know, you're not spiritual in your quiet time and practical in your everyday life. You can put the two together. And the Star is very much a healing card, very, very much a healing card. But it's also a card of not being afraid to be seen, of not being afraid to shine your authentic light. So I find that in this searching, in this understanding, in this balancing, you're not going to be afraid to show people in your everyday life how you've changed. You're not going to censor what words you use or how much you say. You know, to give you an example, you might work in an environment where the people are not particularly spiritual, or not that you know of, because it's not really talked about. So you might feel funny going in and saying, oh, I felt really connected to the universe today. And people might look at you and go, what? And that would have embarrassed you in the past. That would have made you feel uncomfortable. But I find you doing so much healing, and this consciousness that's rising in you is such a part of you that you can't ignore it. You won't be able to keep the two separate, because you won't be able to separate you. You want to be whole in your beliefs and in the way you feel about yourself, the way you see yourself. And you're going to shine. You can't help but not shine. And again, I just see with the water, you know, there's just so much balance. And there's gentle energy. You know, the seahorse is gentle, the koala is gentle. They're not high-spirited animals. They're calm and gentle, and I find the stars here. So this is going to roll out gently, and I'm not going to say there's not going to be challenges, because as I said, this is not easy to do, but it'll come of its own. Thank you, pole number 3, for being with me today. I hope these messages have resonated. Take care. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Thank you for joining me today. I hope these messages resonate and help you with the week ahead. Let's have a look at what energies surround you. Courage. Interesting interesting cards, interesting mix of cards. I find this week everybody's had kind of interesting cards, and mixed cards. Like, just grab the energy, see what comes through. Pole number 4. Okay. Courage. Live your life fearlessly with courage, strength, and determination. And I do feel like you're going to need courage this week. And we'll look into the cards to see why. The thing with courage as well, it's not that we're not afraid when we're courageous. It's that we're afraid, but we do it anyway. And I feel like there's going to be fear or doubt, definitely uncertainty. And just looking at the void, of course, moon, and the card's so dark. And I just feel like, not that it's going to be a dark time, but just that you're a bit in the darkness and you don't have the light to be able to make maybe clear and decisive decisions. And that's when we don't quite have clarity, and we've got choices to make and we need to move ahead. Obviously, if we can avoid making choices when we're not clear, that's brilliant. But sometimes, you know, we have deadlines and things like that, and we still have to move forward. So it's, you know, having that courage to have faith, the strength to trust, and the determination to keep moving forward or in a new direction. And we've got an ace, we've got the Ace of Wands here, so it might very well be in a new direction. We have Starfish Spirit, open to infinite possibilities. Yes, okay, so, and we've got the Transformation card, which in the traditional tarot, it's the Tower. So I can very, very clearly see what this courage is. You don't just have choices, pole number 4. You've got possibilities. Now you've got possibilities to grow, to change, to try something new, to go out on a limb, to go out on an adventure. And it's going to bring up fear in you. And the dear spirits here saying, bring a gentle touch. Because when we're fearful, we tend to do knee-jerk reactions. And sometimes we can shoot ourselves in the foot. We can trip ourselves up. And I'm going to read these cards, really the 3 of them all together, because they kind of really all read together. We've got the void, of course, moon. And it says nothing will come of this. So you have the choice. It's your courage that will determine what happens to these possibilities. Will nothing come of your fears? and you'll move forward and embrace the new? Or will you succumb to your fears and nothing will come of your possibilities? And that sounds very black and white. And I'm sorry, poll number 4. Normally I like to give more options to really, well, to include everybody that might come to this reading, so that, you know, I mean, these are general messages, but this is very precise, very. And with the Tower here, you're going to let something crumble. You're going to have the courage to just let something fall away. Make your fears come to nothing and embrace the possibilities. And I feel that's the way the cards are asking you to go. It's saying be gentle. Be gentle with yourself at this time, because there is fear when we go off on a limb, when we change things. And be gentle with the situation so you don't leap, not from a place of courage and understanding, but from a place of, it's dark, I don't know what I'm doing, I can feel things crumbling around me, I'm just going to just jump. You don't want to stay in the tower either, because when it's crumbling, it's not going to serve you. But you want to do it from a place of understanding, a place of love, because love, if you've got love in the situation, you don't have fear in the situation. And I feel this courage card is saying, let go of your fears. There's going to be fears. Absolutely, there's going to be fears. And that, poll number 4, is 100% normal. It's so normal. Because, yes, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, but we are still human. And that part of us is finite. You know, our spirit, our soul is infinite. But this earthly body, this ego is not. And so it wants to protect itself. And more often than not, to our detriment. So we have the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Cups. And the Ace for me is that opportunity. It's, you're going to be given an opportunity that lights your heart. The Wands is about passion. The Wands is about what drives you, what motivates you. And, you know, with the Knight of Cups, it's an offering. So I find it's even more an offering. You're going to be given this chance, this opportunity. And it's going to fulfill you emotionally, and it's going to light your fire. It's really going to be something that you've been wanting. But you have to take it. And the Knight of Cups here is telling me that there's no rush. There's no rush. And maybe that's where bring a gentle touch. There's no rush. The Knight of Cups is not fast moving. He's moving, but you've got time. You've got time to come out of the rubble of whatever's been left behind. You've got time to dismantle what you no longer need. You've got time to do the inner work, to find that courage and that strength, to see the beauty of what's been offered to you for really what it is. To put your fears to sleep. To go, yes, yes, thank you for being there. I know you're trying to protect me, but I'm okay. I've got this. But you'll see them and you'll understand them. So like I said, transformation is the Tower card in traditional decks. And the card says, a significant life experience that requires changes to be made. Powerful and often unexpected revelations. Breaking free of procrastination. Releasing old belief systems. Sorry, I got a bit tongue-tied then. Made a bit of a mess of it, but I'm hoping that you can read that for yourselves as well. And that's so true. You know, when things happen quite suddenly, it's not that they're more painful, but they shock us. And so it takes us a little bit of time to catch our breath and kind of go, hang on a minute, what happened here? But the Tower always falls for a reason. And I love in this deck, and this is my Angel Wisdom Tarot deck, I love how it's called Transformation. Because the Tower doesn't just fall for nothing. The Tower falls because our foundation wasn't good. But the Tower falls so we can build a better foundation. It doesn't just fall and go, there you go, you're going to live in a pile of rubble now. That's it, that's your life in ruins. And it can initially feel like that, but when we understand that now we just move the rubble away and we've got a chance to start again and do it better, with more clarity, with more understanding. Not cutting corners because we're afraid. You know, we can truly transform. And you're protected. I love the angel in this because you're protected. And you'll understand that. I really feel that you're going to get the clarity when you look in you. I think you really want this. I think you're really open to all the possibilities. You know, I think you are awakening, you're aware of your manifesting possibilities, you're aware of how we make our own luck by how we act, how we think, what words we put out into the world. And you're going to see how all that impacts you. And I feel that the Tower will probably make you feel a bit, oh, what? But I think you're so focused on what's going to come. You know some things are coming for you. I think that's just inside your heart. I just feel like you know better things are coming. And so even though this transformation might be difficult, I feel you're going to embrace it because you want what's coming. And pole number 4, if you kind of are listening to this and you're saying, I don't see any possibilities, I don't see any opportunities in front of me, then I want you to concentrate on your courage and your fears. I want you to do your inner work and look at what fears are blocking you. What needs to dissolve in you? What beliefs do you need to let go of? What situations do you need to let go of? What thoughts and ways of doing things do you need to let go of? So that you open yourself up to seeing possibilities. So if this doesn't come to you this week, it's on its way. This is like the universe giving you a heads up. Do your inner work, look at your fears, because I think pole number 4, it's your fears that are your biggest problem at the moment. And when I say problem, I mean, you know, your biggest obstacle. And I love, live your life fearlessly with courage, strength and determination, and do it with gentleness, do it with kindness for yourself, for those around you. And it's going to be an amazing week. I wish you a wonderful week, pole number 4. Thank you for joining me here today. Take care, love and light. Bye-bye.